Welcome into Stadium in Maine. It is episode 9. We are teamed up with Blue by 90. We've got new episodes every Tuesday. We have a lot to get to tonight. I am Jordan Strack. That is Chris Wormley. We're going to have Jake Ryan on the show, former Wolverine, in just a little bit. I also got some new gear that you'll notice. We're rocking from BSN Sports. Jerseys, gear, equipment, team pride. BSN Sports has it all. The one-stop shop for every coach, athlete, and school across America. BSN Sports. I worked for BCSN for a long time, so this is very confusing for me. BSN Sports makes it easy to design, order, and deliver everything your team needs to play like champions. Visit bsnsports.com today. BSN Sports, the heart of the game. All right, Worm, the Wolverines beat up on Michigan State, and you know we love that. 31-20 was the final. Just first off, your thoughts on a very dominant, I thought, a dominant win for Michigan the other night.
Yeah, anytime you can beat your rival, especially on the road, night game, national TV, all that stuff, it's amazing. It's great. I thought the team it was a team win. It was complete. There's some things that you always want to clean up and fix, but anytime, like I said, you go on the road, you beat the Spartans, you beat Little Brother. You got to feel good driving back to Ann Arbor.
You know, the Michigan State fans have been in my mentions on Twitter quite a bit the last 48 hours or so, and I don't understand why. They're all
was Chris Fry Jr.
Yeah, everybody. Yes, it's so funny because like I wasn't even really crushing them that bad, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought the one post that really got everybody fired up. So yeah, there was like a dream list put out of candidates for Michigan State's next coach. And a couple of them were Brian Hartline, who, by the way, has turned down much better jobs already than Michigan State. He's not going to East Lansing. I'm just telling you, he's not. And like there were a couple of the names that were just totally unrealistic. And so I thought it was funny. Like, could you get Max Bullock to come back and be the head coach of Michigan State? Sure. Cool. But like he's been a linebackers coach. Like could he come back and be the head coach of Michigan State? Yeah, sure. But like now, like that's what's going to come back and fix it. A guy that's never been a head coach at any level and he's been a linebacker coach for a couple of years. Like, all right, do your thing. But they're very angry, and I can understand why. Michigan the other night in the second half threw just 2 passes. They ran it 27 times, and Michigan State just couldn't stop it. Like that's just how it went. It was a very Michigan-esque second half. Justice Haynes, 152 yards. Jordan Marshall, 110 yards. 8 straight wins now for Michigan combined over Michigan State and Ohio State. When you're at Michigan and you've won 8 straight against those 2 teams, you can get away with quite a bit. Walking in every day is pretty easy, I'm sure.
Yeah, man, I wish I had that. I think combined I was 2-8 maybe against those teams. So 8 in a row is crazy. It's a fan. I couldn't tell you the last time Michigan went 8-0 against those 2 teams. So they are playing at a high level when it comes to those rivalry games. The coaches understand it. The players understand the gravity of those games, and it's fun to watch them go out there and compete and play their best ball against those 2 teams, because that's what you're measured on. Last year when they beat Ohio State, it was our season's made. Whether they went 8-5 or whatever, like their season was made because of that game, and it was needed. They needed that game at the end of the year. But anytime you go in, like I said, on the road, beat your rival, and 8 in a row is huge. It's big,
no question. So here's the way I kind of viewed the other night. A win is a win. I do not care what it looks like. I just don't. Going into East Lansing, winning by double digits. And really, you're up 31-13, and then there was a garbage time touchdown. The game is never easy. We literally sat here in this spot 1 week ago and said, this game's going to be a dogfight into the fourth quarter. It's not, there's never anything easy about it. A couple of years ago when they went in there and they won like 49-0, that was easy.
That was a one-off.
Most of the time, yeah, that was the exception to the rule. This game is just not fun for me to watch. Like I hate watching Michigan State because it just feels so stressful. And I don't care how you do it. Get out of there with a win in any way you can is the way I look at that one.
Yeah, I mean, I like this game because I thought the defense had another great performance. I thought that they played at a high level. But look,
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was on the field when the trouble with the snap and all that. So I get that
Ugh,
anxiety of thinking you have the game, in the palm of your hands, and you're going to go and you're going to have this big, a big win, and you beat your rival, and it gets taken away from you. So I understand that thought process, and living, sitting on the edge of your seat, just hoping this game, and waiting for the game to be over. But I thought the game was never really in question, even when they kind of cut it to 10 points at one
yeah.
point. And but I thought Michigan played well enough to beat a bad team. Michigan State's not good. I thought coming into the season they'd have a little more competitiveness to them, and it just as the season goes on, they just haven't been able to put it together. Winless in the Big Ten is never good, but I understand where you're coming from when it comes to how you're feeling watching that game, because it's never easy.
When that one ball was snapped over Bryce's head, did you have flashbacks?
Yeah,
PTSD there.
I tweeted like trouble with the snap. ... It's like, man, not obviously the situation was a little different, and they picked up the ball, and you fight to live, you live another day, and you get to do whatever. But yeah, I felt.
And for people that don't realize, you were literally the one that was trying to make the tackle at the goal line on that play, right?
That was more Jake Butt. Before I realized what was even going, I was on the field, and before
you were on the field chasing the ball down.
Yeah, when I realized what was going on, those guys, the convoy was 15, 20 yards ahead of me, and I'm like, oh man.
I know.
It's tough. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about good things, because Michigan's won 4 straight against Michigan State. We'll take it. I don't know if this is a good thing or not. It still felt like Michigan left a lot out there. And I say it's a good thing because they win by double digits on the road against their rivals, and there's still more there with this team. There is still more to go get. That's why I am trying to view that part as a win. This game shouldn't have been close. It shouldn't have been. Michigan should have put this thing to bed before the end of the third quarter, and nobody should have had to blink twice. But it felt like there was more out there. Like there's still some skin left on the bone right now for this Michigan team, it feels like.
Yeah, I think instead of being frustrated with that and be like, man, they could have put up 45 points and Bryce could have had all these big numbers. Instead of being frustrated with that, I look at that as more of excitement. And I kind of said it all year long. Like as the season goes on, you just want to see this offense continue to take steps. Obviously, Bryce didn't have his best game, passing the ball, but you look at the numbers with the running backs: 152 yards with Haynes, 110 yards with Marshall. If you can get 200+ yard rushers, you're setting yourself up for success, especially when you already have the lead. When you have the lead, you can run the ball, bleed the clock, and that's all fine and dandy. But Michigan's probably going to be down at some point this year, and they're going to need to be able to pass the ball and throw it downfield to come back and score points fast. But as those two running backs continue to put up numbers, it was great seeing Haynes come back and healthy, and you kind of didn't know what we were going to get out of him. But he looked like himself. He looked like he took that week off, got healthy, and didn't really skip and miss a beat. So I was excited to see those guys continue to ball out. Jordan Marshall, it's finally coming on, and it's fun to watch. But you want more. You see it, you feel it, and it's just when you're not getting the results on the offensive side of the ball in terms of what Bryce is capable of doing. As a fan, you can be frustrated, but I'm taking it as excitement and optimism moving forward for these next 4 games.
So the play calling in the second half, and I know if I'm having some internet issues, I apologize. The play calling in the second half, Michigan ran 29 plays. 27 of them were runs. And I saw, let me make sure I give full credit here. I just want to make sure I have it fully right, because I said this to you just a little bit ago, Worm. Sam Webb and Denard Robinson were talking on Monday Morning Quarterback. They said Bryce Underwood was given 16 RPOs. He chose to throw on one of those. One of 16, Bryce chose to throw. So the game plan obviously was to run the football. Like there was no question about that. And Sharon said as much today. he basically came out and said, like, listen, we did what we had to do to come win the game, and that's okay. But the fact that they were able to just lean on that run game when it got a little dicey there, and they were able to really grind those guys down, and it felt very much like the Penn State game a couple years ago, where it was just they were going to turn, they were going to hand it off, they were going to run the football. I feel like we're starting to see a little identity with Michigan that maybe they had lacked earlier in the year.
Yeah, and I went back and when you texted me that about the RPOs, I went back and looked at all of them, and for the most part, Underwood made the right decision by handing the ball off. There were a couple times where I thought he could have maybe thrown it out to a screen to one of the receivers, but when I looked at those plays, the box was light. It was only 5-man boxes, and when you have running backs like Haynes and Marshall, I'm giving the ball to him. I'm giving the ball to them too. So him going, only throwing 17 passes, it's a little frustrating, but when, like I said, you got Haynes and Marshall in the backfield and he's making the right reads at most of the time. So it's not just totally him, just like he's not scared to throw the ball. He's making the right reads for the most of it. So I think that's exciting too, is being able to see that Bryce is making the right reads, making the correct gives, and being able to decipher that, because the casual fans are not going back and watching the film. They're just being, man, why isn't Bryce throwing the ball? Why isn't he doing what we're paying him X amount of millions of dollars to do? But sometimes as a quarterback, you have to make those right decisions, those tough decisions. And for the most part, he's making the right ones.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Worm, because there's a clip floating around the internet right now from Valenti and Rico Beard, Spartan guys, obviously.
Ooh.
On 97 won the ticket.
All right.
So they were talking a lot of shit about how Bryce didn't even have 100 yards. This is the greatest freshman ever. Didn't even throw for 100 yards. He literally didn't have to. Didn't have to. They turned and they hand the ball off, and they're running down your throats. They're doing what they have to do to win the football game. And for all of the people that want to sit and destroy Bryce right now, we're still talking about a true freshman playing in his 8th college football game. I don't give a shit how much you're paying him. I just don't care.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if he's getting $12 million, if he's getting $100 million. That doesn't speed up his process as an 18-year-old kid. There are not many human beings in the history of college football that have been able to come in and play the quarterback position and have a ton of success and play at a super high level and dominate games as a true freshman. There just haven't been that many humans. And I understand there has been all this hype, and Bryce does put a little bit on himself by saying you haven't seen a freshman like me, all of those things. I get it. But he is still a true freshman, and he's doing what he has to do to win football games in a run-heavy offense. So for all of the criticism, it seems just so misguided and honestly silly. And now I'm off my soapbox.
No, I listen. I hear you too, and a lot of those people, whether they have football backgrounds or not, but like they're not in that building every day. They don't understand. They don't know the conversations that are going on between obviously Coach Moore and the OC Lindsey and Underwood. Obviously, what I love for Bryce to throw for 400 yards every game, yeah, that looks great. Like it looks cool. But that's I don't tell me when that's been Michigan. Like when has that been Michigan football?
Never.
It wasn't Michigan football with JJ McCarthy. It wasn't Michigan football. I mean, maybe a little bit more with Chad Henne, 20 years ago, because they had 7 receivers that were,
Yeah, you also had
unreal.
Mario Manningham and Braylon Edwards and Steve Breston on top, guys.
It's just like, the list goes on and on. Yeah. So Michigan doesn't have that right now, and that's okay. And as long as you win the football game, that's all I care about. I don't care. I'm a defensive guy anyway, so I'd love for it to be 10 to 3 every game and watch that. But I understand that people are going to have opinions. People want more. I want more. I guarantee you that team wants more out of everybody on that sideline. So, but like I keep saying, as they continue to go on through the season, just keep continuing to progress and get better, and that'll calm a lot of people's opinions and nerves.
Yeah. Now, as I say that, I'm going to speak out of the other side of my mouth just a little bit here. When I watch this passing game, right now, nothing is coming easy. There's nothing about the passing game that is easy. It feels like I sit and watch Ohio State, or I watch Ole Miss, or I watch some other teams, and there are always easy throws. There are things to get a quarterback in rhythm. There are guys that are open. As I watch around college football, there are other teams that find a way to get their quarterback some easy throws just to get them going. Right now, I don't feel like there are any easy throws or really anything. The wide receivers aren't creating a ton of separation. Once again, the tight ends were completely non-existent. One catch this week again for the tight ends after we watched them dominate against Washington. Different game plans, I understand. But right now, I just don't feel like anything's coming easy in the passing game. And I'm not 100%. Part of it, and to be fair, part of it is the offensive line is run blocking extremely well. With some young guys, though, pass blocking is taken an extra second to get them on board, I think.
Yeah, I'm definitely not putting all the passing game woes on Bryce. When you go back and look at the film, he was getting pressured a lot early in the first and second quarter, third quarter getting pressured.
Yeah.
And as the game went on, he was maybe getting out of the pocket just a little too early, not because he's skittish, but that internal clock as a quarterback starts to ramp up and starts to speed up as the game goes on. If you're taking a lot of heat and taking a lot of pressure from that defense. I remember there was, playing with, I think, one of the best pass rushers in the game, in TJ Watt, and playing with him. And, the first and second quarter, he's getting pressures. And then it just kind of unleashes and he gets, 2 sacks in the fourth quarter. And quarterbacks have that internal clock to know, hey, if these guys aren't blocking for me, or they're blitzing or not picking up blitzes. That was another big thing too, is like I didn't think that Michigan picked up the blitzes very well. It's like I said, it's not just Bryce, it's the offensive line not picking up blitzes, calling out the correct reads, or things like that. So you just want to keep getting better, want them to continue to take the strides. And I think at least in the passing game, the run game's been phenomenal the last 2-3 weeks.
Sure.
And I think the pass game has to continue to evolve, and that's not just Bryce, that's receivers, tight ends, and the O-line blocking.
Yeah, for sure. One other thing I want to get to before we welcome Jake Ryan in, I thought the defense was good once again. Yep. You take away that one long touchdown drive in the first half, Michigan State did nothing. I mean, honestly, nothing. Jimmy Rolder, I thought, played his best game as a Wolverine.
Exciting white man.
Which you love. I am worried a little bit about Cole Sullivan. As he came off, they certainly need him back to be able to have some success in some of these games. Maybe not Purdue, but down the line, they're going to need him to have some success. I still think there's too many chunk plays being given up right now. Mekhi Frazier had that one real long run on the touchdown drive. Without that, I don't know that they go down and score. So, there's a lot of good, I think, with the defense. What do you think about some of the adjustments they've made since that USC game?
Yeah, I thought, 2 weeks ago, Wink didn't blitz as much. I didn't think he blitzed. Maybe he blitzed a little more this game, but it wasn't as much as that USC game. And I think they're tackling a lot better. But you want to eliminate some of those chunk plays. I was a little concerned, like where's Barham been? He came on so strong and so just the sacks and the pressures and just disrupting the game at a high level those first 3-4 weeks. Like, where's he been the last couple of weeks? You go back, you watch the film, they're chipping him every 5-step drop pass. They're running away from him 75-80% of the plays and the run plays. When you look at the plays run to him in the run game, he's disrupting 90% of those plays. So it's not just Barham taking, being somebody that is taking a dip. It's like these teams are game planning to and red dotting Barham. Like, how can we eliminate this guy from the game? And they're doing everything that they can to do that. And I think that frees up guys like Derek Moore, 2 sacks back to back. I think the third or fourth quarter of this game, which was huge plays. Mm-hmm. So it's freeing up other guys to make plays, but I was a little frustrated with Barham, but then you go back and watch the film, and like teams are actively game planning to take him out of the game. So
yeah, for sure. All right, let's bring in Jake Ryan now. Former Michigan captain, all Big Ten linebacker for the Wolverines. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Listen, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I just for maybe there's some youngsters that don't remember. It's been a little bit,
Yeah, I lost some weight. I'm trying to get in shape, and we got to get you a hat. I see Worm's got one on. I love it.
Oh yeah,
listen, we'll absolutely take it. Funny story, actually. So I have to special order hats because my head's so big. Does your company have hats for big heads? I'm not kidding you. So there's I'm not trying to shout out another company right now, but literally I have to order through Mammoth Headwear. I'm not shitting you. I have to order hats through a company called.
There's some hat companies that do like different sizes. There's like XL, and then like they got like the kids versions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
no,
it's a legit. I like to say that ours fit most people. I mean,
no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I got a big head.
Yeah.
And Huega House hats fit my head. These are my favorite hats because they fit. Not only they're good quality, but like they're my favorite hats because they fit my head so well. Like if I was wearing like a dad baseball cap earlier today, and it just looked so funny because like the bill was so small. But these fit perfect. And now that they have, their Michigan licensed, it's cool to be able to
listen.
To rock the
I'm always here to try them out, and would be glad to rock it on the podcast for sure.
I gotta send some over for sure.
I appreciate that. That's a perfect segue. Give people an idea. What are you up to now? I know you're a photographer traveling the world, and you've got a hat company. Give people an idea what you're up to.
Man, yeah. I actually started photography when I was at Michigan. So, toward the ACL. Had nothing going on, was always interested in photography, and the whole entire crew had like mopeds. So I would just take my camera, go to North Campus, and just shoot like just random stuff, birds, people driving by, whatnot. But yeah, I got into it because I got injured at Michigan, and that kind of like, that's where I went with it. And as soon as the NFL hit, I had to get a little bit better of a camera. So. Like everyone was spending them on like cars and houses and stuff. I was like getting camera gear. So, but yeah, I got into like more wildlife stuff and more like landscape travel. So I've been dabbling in a bunch of stuff. But it's kind of slowing down now. Actually, the wife is pregnant. I've got a little baby on the way. So,
congrats.
Traveling, awesome. We did all the traveling beforehand. We did the African safari, Japan, all those just to get them out of our system. And now it's growing up kid time. So, yeah.
Well, talk about some of the places you've been to shoot because, I'm looking on the Instagram. Lex, my wife, is like, can we get some of these prints? Like, we got to buy some prints because like I know some teammates of yours have sent you across the world just to get some cool photos. So where have you been with that?
Yeah, some of the coolest spots, and I love going to places that not a lot of people can reach. A lot of people do the African safari, but me and my wife had the privilege of going down to South Africa and hitting a bunch of different safari camps, and saw the Big Five and even more. So lions, giraffe, elephants, the water buffalo. It was crazy. One of the coolest things I've done. South Africa was special. One of the places that not a lot of people have been to that I would love to go back to one day is the Faroe Islands. And it's a little island system off of the coast of Denmark. So it's right between Iceland and Denmark. And cold. It's cold, rainy, but the most moody, like it's just out of this world. Like this place is crazy. So if you ever get a chance, go look up the Faroe Islands. But that's one place I definitely want to go back to. Man, we hit a couple places right before this all happened. We were in Morocco. We were doing like camel rides in Morocco. So we hit that, like the desert, the Sahara. But yeah, I still got a ton on my list, but we're going to save that for when the kid's a little bit older. So
yeah, Worm and I can both attest. Once you have a kid, life kind of changes. So
Yep.
I'm happy for you to be able to go live all these experiences now because, trust me, once that baby comes, life changes. It slows down a little bit, and
Totally.
yeah, you gotta figure some things out. But it'll be great. And you're gonna love it.
I know. Understandable. Yeah, totally. That's why we got it all out of our system beforehand.
Perfect.
So we're ready and we're excited.
All right. So let's go back to your Michigan career. If I remember correctly, you played your first year with Rich Rod, and then was the Brady Hoke era, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you were right. You were right in the middle of one of the craziest times in the history of Michigan football.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. I redshirted that year with Rich Rod, so I didn't really get the full experience, but I can attest to how it was on like the practice squad, or I guess not practice squad, the redshirt squad, where we were just getting crushed by Mike Barwis every single Friday for those lifts, and it was a lot of the guys, we all got together like, do we want to do this still? And like, just like contemplating, but it was definitely different than Hoke. But, Rich Rod had his own set of ways of doing things. And, it was a great experience. It definitely, got me to think a little bit about my career and everything. But once Hoke came in, completely different story. More of a player's coach, could sit down with him. He lives, I gotta reach out to him, but he lived about 5 streets over from me in San Diego, because he was with the Aztecs here.
The Aztecs, yeah.
So I'd go out and have a beer with him and Kurt Maddox, and they were just a little bit different. Could sit down, talk to him about everything. And also another one was Greg Madison, who, he has a special place in my heart. He got me through Michigan and taught me so much about the game and everything. And the whole coaching staff that Hoke had was just special. And it was a special team, and a special bond that we all had. And going through those military workouts with Wellman was just something different. And but it was awesome. It was such a great experience in those 4 years I had.
Yeah, it was my birthday a couple of days ago, and I get a Facebook message from.
I didn't even text you. Jeez, that's horrible on me.
Bad friends. Jordan didn't text me.
I did see that. I noticed it was your birthday.
My kids got me a cake and a car. That's all I really care about. I don't care about anybody else.
My bad.
But I get a Facebook message from Ann Madison, and it says like happy birthday. You were my favorite 6-tech.
She was the best.
And then like it was like dash like coach. So it must have been like Greg, like,
oh yeah.
Hey, message Chris real quick.
Yeah, they probably shared an account.
Yeah, but they no, obviously Coach Matty was, big part of me going to Michigan. He was telling me a lot about football, but and also Mrs. Madison was phenomenal too. So they're like a pair when it comes to recruiting and getting guys to come to Michigan. They were fantastic.
They were a package deal, and then she would make cookies for us. Was it every Sunday? They'd be in our locker if we had like, I think it was like a sack or like an interception.
She would write our stats on like on the brown paper bag. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'd be in our locker the next morning, and just got some calories in while we were struggling with soreness. So, but yeah, what a great couple.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah. When you think back about it, do you have like a welcome to Michigan moment or memories that kind of stand out?
Like in a
practice game, it could be anything. Fun, I don't care. What you
man,
take this question, run with it.
This was, I know Worm knows Barwis, but man, Jordan Pascors, Isaiah Bell, and I missed a workout in the morning. Stayed out a little too late, hit steeps for a little too long, and
understandable.
Completely missed the workout. And we thought they weren't going to notice. So we went into practice the next day, and first thing Mike Barwis says to us is, "Hey guys, I'll see you after practice." And he and like 3 other of the strength coaches, Dan Moses, rode us around the field like horses until we threw up. And I never missed a single workout. I was never late to a single practice, workout, anything after that. And that honestly, like, kind of set the tone for like, okay, this is like big boy time. This isn't high school anymore. Like this is college. So that was definitely interesting. But honestly, there were so many good, Michigan memories. Just like honestly, running out of the tunnel is just something special. There's just something special every single time you go back to Michigan. And it was such an incredible experience and time there.
Yeah, I think people don't understand the whole running out of the tunnel aspect unless you're either a coach or a player. I know some people do it now, like for they pay the NIL and they get to have a fun experience. But if you're a player with your helmet on or you're a coach and you're in it, it's so cool because not many people get to do it. Everyone's 110,000 people screaming your name, just wanting you to succeed for Michigan. And then you get to touch that banner. It's something special.
It is special, especially meeting each other because there are 2 doors of the locker room, like are right there. There's always that one Michigan clip of me just jumping up and down. I'm like, I get sent it every single year. And I'm just like, here we go again. But yeah, just meeting the other team, like especially like Michigan State or OSU, like right in that tunnel is just like, that's just something different. One way in, one way out is always like the coolest saying. And, that's really what it was.
Well, don't get Michigan State and Ohio State fans all going on that because then they'll start whining and it's, the tunnel in Michigan always starts problems.
We're the bad guys.
Big troublemaker Jake Ryan. Yeah.
I know. It's always my fault. Yeah.
So I want to talk about the hat, Huega House. Yeah. How did you come up with that concept? I know you got, your brother-in-law. You guys started this. Because not only is it obviously Michigan hats and all that stuff, but you guys are licensed in different colleges. I think NFL now too, maybe. I see some of the Pittsburgh guys wearing it. Talk about just the concept and how you guys came up with it, because like I said, this is my favorite hats. And
hey, I love that. Yeah. Great. Also, I just actually made a discount code for the show. So if you type in worm at the end of checkout, you get a little 20% off your order. So
wow,
that's good till Friday. So anyone that wants to order a Michigan hat or anything off the website, do so.
Yeah, and great tees and hoodies and kind of athleisure lifestyle stuff. It's great too. Yep.
Yeah, we got everything. But man, so honestly, like I had just retired, and I was dating my now wife, and my now brother-in-law kind of came up to me and was like, "Hey, like let's start something." I kind of have like, we bonded over this brand, and we liked their hats, but they weren't perfect. And I was like, we got to make like the perfect hat. So we came up with, sending off to the factory and all that type of stuff. But how it really got started was he came up to me and was like, let's start this thing. And, the rest was history. Came up with like a bunch of concepts, and Huga's actually, we wanted like something that resonated with everyone. It was like the end of COVID, kind of like during COVID, to be honest. And we wanted something that resonated with everyone. And we came up with Huega. And Huga's a Danish concept. It's spelled Hygge, but we kind of Americanized it and spelled it Huega because that's how it's pronounced. It's pronounced Huega, and no one would pronounce Hygge, Huega. So, but it basically means cherish the little things. It's basically a way of living over in Denmark, where it's like cozy, comfortable, like everyone's together, kind of like a community. So loved the messaging behind it, and kind of ran with it and made hats and designed a bunch of different stuff, and it ended up working out. And man, it's going on 3 years now. And yeah, like Worm was saying, we had college. We got into college licensing. We had 14 schools that we got college licenses for, and one of them being Michigan. And man, it is a lot of work, but it is very rewarding. We did a little pop-up, Chris came, and we did it at Drip House in Ann Arbor, right outside the stadium. And we're doing like a little football toss, just a launch launched the hats with Rally House, and you can find them in Rally House as well. So
sweet.
But that's kind of how it came about, and we're getting a little bit more into activewear too. So we're going to be doing a lot more activewear hats. Got shirts, shorts coming out, and yeah, that's kind of where it's at right now. But yeah, I've got like a kind of a creative mind brain somewhat. So I love just the designs and finding new stuff and, different silhouettes to kind of, stand out from other brands. But yeah, so that's how it's going right now.
I love it. I love it. I want to go back to your Michigan playing days again. So you had the long hair at one point. You had the long hair at one point. Have you ever considered going back to that, or is that like a phase in your life that'll never come back?
That was a phase in my life that will probably never come back. I've had to do like a couple different things for Huega and just look for like NFL photos of myself and Michigan photos of myself. And whenever I Google myself with that long hair, I'm just like, what was I thinking?
Oh no, come on now. Everybody, it was like a recognizable thing.
I know. It was cool for sure. I did like it. The only time I liked it wasn't when it was coming out of my helmet for game day. And other than that, I don't know how girls deal with it, to be honest with you. It was like when I was sleeping, I had to put like a bun on top of my head because my neck would get so hot. I'm like, it's horrible. But no, it was a 3-year, or it was like a 4-year thing. And when I tore my ACL, it was so hard to just shower and deal with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And I just cut it all off. And I actually donated a good amount. It was like to lots
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like 15 inches of hair. So,
How's your wife feel about you with long hair?
We don't bring that up too often.
No.
No, but she is just like, I don't know if I'd come up to you and
like not even being in San Diego, like the beach town, surfing, all that stuff.
Surf vibe. Yeah, I could definitely pull it off here, but I don't know. It was just too much to maintain. I buzz my head now.
Wow.
So I don't have to deal with anything anymore. So
yeah. The complete opposite, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. So when I tore my ACL my freshman year, I grew my hair out. I don't know if you remember, I had that big ass afro. I had that gross afro with.
I loved it.
It was disgusting. I kind of did the opposite.
It is awesome though.
So when
Why
you tore your
remember that?
Because I tore my ACL and I was kind of MIA for
inside the whole time.
You're hiding.
Yeah, I was sad, depressed, and angry.
Yeah.
But when you tore your ACL, that was like spring ball, right?
Yeah, it was spring ball.
Then you came back like 7 months later, like.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I tried to rehab as fast as I possibly could just to get back, but man, I wasn't the same at 7.5 months. It was just like me trying to not survive, but
prove how tough you were.
Yeah, exactly. I had to do it for the toughness aspect of it. But I really think like a good year with an ACL is what people need to be at to come back, because 7.5 months was, just a little too early. I mean, I played, but I was not the same player. That's for sure.
Chad Henne was talking about it last week on our show. Chad Henne in 2004 literally was getting like 3 shots before a game in his shoulder so he could play.
Yeah. And
before the Wisconsin game, he had a shot that hit a nerve and he couldn't throw the football at all. Like couldn't play. Is there something to that though? Like when you're a competitor, just wanting to push through and find a way. Cause like, listen, you've got a finite time where you get to be at Michigan. There's only and once that's done, it's done. Is that hard to not like push yourself to go out and be there and run out of the tunnel and all those things?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, especially when you got your other teammates that are, doing what you love to do. That's the kind of like the biggest thing. It's, you got to kind of sit on the sideline and watch, but that's football. That's kind of what comes with it. I don't wish injuries on anyone, but they're going to happen. It's kind of inevitable.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of how you respond. And, I've had 2 ACLs now, and I've had like three surgeries on my right knee, and man, it's brutal. So, coming back from any big injury is just hard in itself. But, you got those guys every single day that are pushing you to get back, and, you're watching them from the sidelines. So you want to get back doing what you love. But yeah, don't get me wrong. It was tough, but, taught me a lot of patience, to be honest with you.
Once your Michigan career was done, like you got to go play for one of like the legendary franchises in Green Bay. What was that experience like?
Incredible. I in my NFL career, I was with 3 teams, and Green Bay is just special. Special place, special stadium. I tell people all the time, Worm, I know you played there because I remember playing the Ravens. Yep. But it's just different. Like every single stadium is in like a major city or, somewhere with some buildings and whatnot. But when you go to Green Bay, it's like there's houses. They're like residential houses.
It's like the big house almost, right? Like you're just in a neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the coolest experience because they're built around football up there. And, there's not much to do. So you get to focus on football and not much else. So it's a special place. I mean, like running out of the tunnel there, there's so much history that goes into that place. And, how it's ran and the coaches and the front office and everything is just, top notch. I miss it all the time, the locker room and the guys and everything. And I miss the food, especially, to be honest with you. It's like the best food of all time. I would take
food
home
in Green Bay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Adam, our nutritionist, would just, man, you could order, this might be a secret, but you could order like crab legs and the best tuna. You got to pay for it, but they ship in the best tuna from like Hawaii, overnighted to you in the building, and you could have a whole like tuna like next day if you told Adam. I don't know if that's I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
I thought you were gonna say like cheese curds and like
yeah, that's something like sausage or something. Like what?
I had to control myself with the cheese curds. The cheese curds and the spotted cow were though that combo was deadly, but it was so good. So good. But yeah, Wisconsin's just a special place for sure.
You got to play with Aaron Rodgers. I know there's a lot of outside opinions about what he is as a person and the ayahuasca and all that stuff. And every person that I've ever talked to that has played with Aaron Rodgers and has been a teammate has said all good things about him. So
yeah,
what's your take on that? Because I think everybody outside has an opinion.
Yeah.
And unless you're with somebody every day and you know him as a teammate or as a person, there's just a lot of things going on. So what's your take on him?
Aaron is hands down one of the best people that I've ever played with. One of the smartest people I've ever played with. We'd sit at breakfast and he'd get in like debates with people and, just, it was something they believed their whole entire life. And then he convinced them otherwise right at that table, like in 5 minutes. Just cream of the crop guy. Always cares and always texting you like after the game. Like we got injured kind of the same timeline when I tore my ACL again. My 4th year, he had done something to his knee, and we just kind of bonded over, injuries and his life and everything. And man, I don't have a bad word to say about Aaron. Let's just put it that way. Top-notch teammate, top-notch guy. You can kind of rely on him for everything. So I know he gets a lot of bad press and everything, but any press is good press, right? I guess.
I think people want people to live certain ways, and when you're one of the best to ever do it, you're probably not going to be as normal as people want you to be.
Exactly.
And he just has a different way of doing things. So I appreciate you saying that, because there's, like I said, anybody that I've ever asked or talked about that has been in locker rooms with him has nothing bad to say. So
yeah, I mean, I remember my rookie year coming in, and we were first interaction I ever had with him was at the coffee machine. He's like, "What's your name?" He said, and I was just like, oh geez, this is Aaron.
uh, uh, uh,
Yeah. I was like, Jake. He's like, Jake, what? I'm like, Ryan. He's like, I knew that. I saw the draft. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then, all right. Why are you asking me? But just like in a funny way. And just I'll never forget that. And, but he was awesome. My 4 years I was there with him. Yeah.
Go back to that night when you found out your NFL dream was coming true, like getting drafted. Do you remember kind of what that was like?
Oh yeah. Just anxiety. I was like, when is this going to happen? Because I had a grade of like round 3 to 5. So I was just like sitting there waiting around because I was like, oh, okay, maybe it'll be the 3rd round. And it's that 2nd day. But then that didn't happen. And I'm like, we've got so many people at the house just like waiting for the call and everything. And, I'm just like a ball of stress in the corner. And all of a sudden I get this 920 area code. I think it's 920. And yeah, it's Green Bay, and we get the call, and I think it was Ted Thompson was on the phone, and I had no idea I was going to Green Bay. I thought I was going to like Miami or the Bengals for some reason, because I had done interviews with them and I had visits and stuff with them. Green Bay was just never on the list or the radar. So, but man, I was so excited. To this day, I still, everyone's like, "Oh, you grew the hair out because of Clay," and I'll never, ever in my life admit that, and I never did. So, hopefully, he sees this. But yeah, it was just funny because there's so many people like, "Oh, the long blonde hair and all that stuff," and then I end up, playing linebacker with him my rookie year, and he kind of did whatever he wanted as a middle linebacker, and I was like, do I get to do that too? And I definitely couldn't.
Nope.
So, but yeah, that whole day and night was crazy, and it happened so fast, and you go into that rookie mini camp and it just hits you hard, and you're there, and it's like kind of never ending football for a whole year, because you go in from your college season to training to getting drafted and then the season. So, but it was awesome getting that call. It was very special.
Where were you for your draft? Why do I not remember where you were?
You texted me like, hey, can we bring cameras and be in the house? I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, and you didn't want that. Like,
I didn't want that at all. So I got the call. And I was in my college room or my college house on campus, right over the bridge on Stadium. I had a wedding that I was in the next day. One of my best friends down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. And no, it wasn't that bad. People they were down in Miami, so they didn't really care about a guy from Michigan, but I just wanted it to be low key. And like you said, Jake, you're sitting there and Justin, we both have the same agent. Justin, he's like, hey, you can go anywhere from bottom of the 1st round all the way to 4th round. I'm like, okay,
round.
It's like, okay, so you're sitting there day one, not having a whole lot of expectations. Okay, definitely going to be the next day, maybe 2nd round. Second round goes by, and people start. It was just my close family, like my mom, my dad, my agent, and my brother and sister, and my now wife, Lex. And we're sitting there, and I'm just slouching more and more into the couch, getting pissed off, not really saying much. Oh, this guy got drafted ahead of me. I know I'm better than him. All these thoughts go through your head, and then you get the call, and like Jake said, it was 410 number from Baltimore, from Maryland. I'm like, okay, good. Came in the 3rd round, which was awesome. And then all those thoughts, you leave those thoughts of disappointment because your dream's coming true. But kept it low key, denied Jordan from filming it and documenting it. But yeah.
Well, so I remember, obviously I remember when you were in high school, and I remember, all through college, I was there's certain guys that I remember exactly their drafting, Tyson Anderson, who's playing for the Bengals. I remember going to his house right after. Jordan Kovacs, I didn't have to worry about that because I didn't think Kovacs was getting drafted. I love him dearly to this day. One of my all-time favorites. Never had to worry about. But there's certain guys I remember. Deshaun Kaiser, the night he thought. Remember, Deshaun was.
He was there. He was at the draft.
He was at the draft. You remember certain guys and where they were for their draft.
Totally.
Sorry, Worm, I was
sorry,
bugging.
Jordan. No, it's all right.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. You big time me. I'd only been covering you since you were like 14 years old, and then you big time me once you finally made it to the NFL. You said, "To hell with this guy."
It's not like I was like, oh yeah, screw you, Jordan. I'm going with like ESPN or like Fox Sports or something like that. It was literally nobody. Nobody was there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. All good. I'm not mad at you. I didn't even remember it, to be honest with you, until you brought that up. So, all right, Jake. So, how much are you watching Michigan these days?
Oh gosh, that's a touchy subject. Not a lot, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
It's okay.
I've got a lot going on, so it's tough for me to sit down and watch. I'm not gonna lie. I will go and like surf all day and bike and do other things and like not watch.
He's living his life.
I'm a horrible fan.
What a life, though. What a life.
I'm trying to get it all out before this baby comes. But I saw the Michigan State game. That was awesome. So we've got to win out to make the playoffs, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If they win out, they'll be in the playoff. Yes, that is fair to say, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not the best fan. I'm not going to lie. And I do not want to. Yeah. There you go.
No one's going to be mad at you. One other thing that I always ask everybody that had to play before NIL was a thing. If NIL was a thing when you were playing, what would you have done with your first big check?
Oh my gosh.
Now, to be fair, a lot of guys have said they would have gone and done some stupid stuff with it. So
he would have missed another workout.
Yeah, exactly. Man, decisions back then were a little different than decisions right now. I would have probably, I bought that camera with my first NFL check. I probably would have gotten a camera and a better moped because my moped would break down like, every other day. And I think those were like the two biggest things. But man, I don't know how much NIL money we would have made. I mean, I feel like it's just all big offensive guys and all that. I was afraid of like just taking a Cinnabon from the Briarwood Mall for free. Like now these guys are getting these giant deals and I'm jealous. But
you were a first team all Big Ten guy. You would have gotten a check.
Yeah, but they saw that long hair and I cut it off and they're like, not this guy anymore.
Dude, like Great Clips would have come at you with some big NIL deal or something, like one of the, like a shampoo place would have come and given you a deal.
True, that's true.
Head and Shoulders.
You could have made some cash off the hair.
Hey, I mean, I wish it was like that when we were playing. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
But hey, maybe there's something down the road. Maybe we get a little check in the mail for, hey, sorry, we didn't do this for you guys. And,
buy a couple packs of diapers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that check's going to do. It's okay.
Yeah, here's $100. Good luck.
The other thing I want to ask, I keep hearing stories about the mopeds in Ann Arbor. Y'all I feel like every player that's come on here, Worm, am I wrong? Everybody keeps talking about the mopeds one way or the other. Yeah. What was the moped culture like there in Ann Arbor?
Crazy. Like there was we probably had, what was it? Like 5 parking spots dedicated to just mopeds in the Schembechler.
Which is probably lot. Like 50 probably mopeds at one point.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yep. But campus is so big. And then there were some of my classes on North Campus and I was like, you can't walk there. I'd have to take the bus, which, I still did in the winter when it wasn't icy and I couldn't take my moped. But it was just an easy way to get around. And, everyone on the team had one. And I don't know what happened, but I think it kind of just fizzled out once I think someone got in an accident. But, I'd park it in the bike racks at class and I'd get a ticket on it and I wouldn't pay it. And I think I finally got impounded and then I'd have to pay a giant, sum at the end of the year to get it out of impound. But, it was just like the best thing to use to get to class. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it was, and they're fun. You're cruising around. It takes $3 to fill up, and it lasts you for 3 weeks.
Exactly. Dangerous, but fun.
You see teammates walking like, hey, hop on. You got 200-300 pound guys cruising on
exactly.
a little moped. It was it's just those memories that you make as a student, and you try and feel somewhat normal as a football player. But those are fun times.
I remember Taylor Lewan had like a Harley looking one, and after Friday practice, we'd always just take it. I'd hop on the back of his moped, and he'd have like 3 cases of beer where his feet go, and like his feet were off to the side, like driving home from the store. I was like, this is horrible, but it'll be a fun night.
Totally safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody survived and everybody made it. It's fine.
Exactly.
All right. Jake, we appreciate it. Worm, you got anything else for him?
No, man. Appreciate you, Jake. Obviously, great teammate, great person. Love the hats. Congrats on being a dad in the next 5-6 months. I can't wait for you guys to experience what Jordan and I've experienced for the last me 5, and Jordan his daughter's 14, 15. So it's an amazing experience. So congrats.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Definitely different, but fun. But also use that 20% off code if you guys huegahouse.com if you guys want some Michigan hats. I've got one on right now. So
got the other one, got another one.
Love it.
Yep.
Perfect.
But yeah,
Jake, we appreciate you. Enjoy the surf out there before that baby comes, and we appreciate you doing this.
I promise I'll watch the Ohio State game for you guys. I promise.
Please do. Please at least watch the Ohio State game.
Of course.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Jake.
Yep. Jake Ryan, former Michigan captain, all Big Ten linebacker, fan favorite in the 2010s at the University of Michigan, was recruited to Michigan in the Rich Rod era, and then was there for the Brady Hoke era. It was one hell of a player back in the day, Worm.
Yeah. Jake he was a bad man. He went from outside linebacker to middle linebacker and got better, and he was one of those guys that you looked up to as a younger guy that you kind of wanted to model your game around. Sure. And how he approached just being a player at Michigan.
Yeah. All right. I want to wrap up a couple things real quick from Michigan State week, and then we will look at Purdue just very quickly because, quite frankly, there's not a whole lot to look ahead to. No. I'm going to be honest with you with Purdue. So first, though, I want to go back to Michigan State fans have just been whining about penalties for days now. I thought it was a perfectly fine, a well officiated football game. I thought the gentlemen with the stripes, I thought they did all right on Saturday night.
You want me to respond to that one? I mean, obviously the big one was the offsides on the blitz with the cornerback that, if it wasn't called offsides, it would have been a huge momentum shift. Bryce
definitely was offsides for sure. Offsides.
Sack, fumble. I'm going to be a little, impartial here, whatever the word is, but it was close. It was a bang offsides. I think it could have went either way. Obviously, I'm glad it went our way, which is shocker. I'm shocked that it went our way.
Yeah, and JT was still short.
Yeah. Well, we can, that's calm down. That's a couple weeks from now. We'll get there. But no, I mean, especially in East Lansing, that call went Michigan's way. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was happy. But yeah, I mean, when you're struggling as bad as Michigan State has, the fans are looking for anything to make an excuse. And sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Last thing I'm going to mention on that game, it's our weekly Samaj Morgan check-in. At this point, I just don't know. You keep giving him rope. You keep letting him go. You keep giving him more chances. And at this point, I just don't know how you keep playing him. I just don't. It feels like every week he's doing something to hurt the team, and what he's doing to help the team isn't offsetting it. And special teams is my gripe of the night, because on special teams, I mean, listen, there's the one punt he fields, and there's nobody within 10 yards.
Yeah, it's probably 10, 15 yards.
If he would have just caught the ball and run forward and fall down at the first guy that gets to him, he gains 10 yards. And then it ended up being like a 2-yard return. And and then he tackles his own guy, and then, like it just feels like and then he catches the one punt at the 4-yard line. There's just too many mistakes right now, and it's not getting better. How long do you keep letting him go?
Yeah, that's a good question. One thing that like coaches always say is like, if you make a mistake, you just can't make it again, and if you continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, like we can't play you. And I've been in that position before, and it sucks, and it's not a good feeling. But then also the next question is like, who is behind, Samaj Morgan in terms of the slot receiver, the return guy? Like, do they trust those guys at all? And that's a question for the coaches.
Yeah.
But it's tough, man. I want him to succeed so badly because
same. We all do. Yes.
Same. And I feel like I've said it, last week, the week before, whatever, but it's tough to go out there and watch him make those mistakes and hurt the team. You said the one where he tackled his own player. It's like, where are you going? That's kind of my question.
I legitimately had no idea
where
he was
going. Yeah. And that's tough. It's tough when you make those mistakes. He's not doing it on purpose,
No,
but
like that play was one thing, but to field a punt at your own 4-yard line like he did,
you got to let it go. You got to let it bounce, and 4 yards is. There's a great chance it's going to go in the end zone.
Yeah, those are the things that are game changing. Like that, like the other stuff, like whatever, but like those are game changers.
Field position, yeah. Field position is one of the most important things in the game of football, and if you can swing that, 16 extra yards. 20 extra yards by a touchback, that's huge.
Yep. All right. So that wraps up Michigan State week. Looking ahead, you and I will both be at the Big House this Saturday. Michigan welcomes in Purdue. It's a night game for whatever reason. It's a night game against Purdue. You and I will both be there, and I hope people will come say hi. Are you gonna try to stop by the Blue by 90 tailgate? Go see Justin and the group.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and make it over there. They always got the vibes over there with the Woodson whiskey, the Camp Water, I think it's called.
Okay.
Great DJs, great music, good food, good vibes. It's right across the street from the Big House, basically, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going, where I'm tailgating, what we're doing. Would go to the golf course, but it sounds like rain's in the forecast. Don't know if that'll be possible, but we're gonna be up there. So if you see us around, say hi. I'm hoping our hoodies are coming in this week. We have some Stadium and Maine hoodies that should be coming in. The other thing is I don't know if I've even told you this. Maybe I did. We're gonna have an online store up and running soon. So if anybody wants Stadium and Maine gear, I don't know if anybody does. My parents do, and I'm gonna make them pay for it. So we will have that as
swag. Get your swag, man. Get your swag.
Yeah, I don't have Chris Wormley NFL money, so I got to tell my parents they got to buy their own gear. So yeah, and I'm gonna do the read one more time because I screwed it up so royally the first time.
You want me to do it instead? Like what are we?
Listen, I botched it the first time. I don't know what to do. I sucked. It was terrible.
I'll read it next week. Then I'll practice it.
Yeah, you know what? I want you to practice it, and then next week you can do it. But jerseys, gear, equipment, team pride, BSN Sports has it all. The one-stop shop for every coach, athlete, and school across America. BSN Sports makes it easy to design, order, and deliver everything your team needs to play like champions. Visit bsnsports.com today. BSN Sports, the heart of the game. And now we can cut that and send it to him and say, hey, look, we did it because I didn't screw that one up. Looking forward to it, Worm. It is a week before the bye, so go out, get a win. And then that's the biggest thing I think about this weekend. Take care of business, get healthy, and then you have a week off before you go play Northwestern at Wrigley Field.
That's good. That's good. I'm obviously excited for the Purdue game, but that game at Wrigley Field is going to be sweet. Obviously, historic baseball stadium. Should get a win, but it's always fun to play in a big city like Chicago. But back to the BSN Sports, they did shirts for me one year for my football camp, and they were top notch. Yeah, the kids. I got a couple shirts upstairs with my daughter, but the kids loved them. Great quality. I can attest to that on a personal note. So appreciate BSN Sports.
Yeah, and it's got the Jumpman logo on these polos too. So yeah,
it's good quality.
Sweet. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're looking forward to it. Saturday night inside the Big House, 7 p.m. kickoff on BTN if you're not going to be there. we will be there. We'll be watching in person this week. So can't wait for it. Looking forward to another one and then a week off. So make sure you subscribe, tell all your friends, come like and do all the things for the podcast. And then we will see you back here next week. New episodes dropping every Tuesday. Have a good night, Worm. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Go Blue.
Go Blue.